Hello, my name is Ankit. I'm from the group CloudTechHeros, and our project was a resume scanning app. Our group leader was Yong Che Ko, and this is the presentation for the project that we have made. So if you're seeing my screen, the website that I'm logged into is my CloudFront endpoint, and this is the front end that we have developed. And if we press it here, we will be able to log in. And it asks us to log in with Cognito. I have already logged in, but for the demonstration purpose, I'll just create another account. I'll just enter the password and re-enter it. Sign up. It'll send a verification code. I'll just quickly look into it and enter the code. Okay, so now we are logged in, and let's try our job matches. So it asks us to upload our resume, and we have to select our file, and my file is in this folder. I'll select it and select the upload file, and in a while it will show us what jobs would match my resume. Okay, so we see 3 jobs have popped up which are like matching my resume, and if we click this job, it will show me the details of the job. And if I click here, apply now, it'll take me to the website where the posting was originally given. And so if I go back, that's how our website looks and functions. So it's a pretty good working application that we made. And if we log out, it'll take me to the home page. So this was our app that was developed, and this is the architecture behind it. If you see, we have used like various services. To list a few, I have S3, Lambda, SQS, Textract, EC2, ECS, ECR, and we have used like different services to have hands-on experience on it, RDS and all. Now, let me just mm, walk you through this diagram and see how the code is actually working. So let's have a highlight of what all the services that we used. Here are a list of all the services that were used in this project. Uh, so let's start with the fundamental, which is VPC. So we built in VPC, and we have like 6 main subnets, and we have another subnets, another 3 in 1B region, and we have like 3 route tables, one of which is default and 2 others are mm, the project route tables. One of them is for public and one of them is a NAT route table pointing to S3 endpoint. So if you see the diagram, so this is our if you see the east one is the region, and we have a VPC built, and we have different subnets inside this VPC where our different services will be residing. So the next part in it was S3 buckets. So we made some buckets where the data would reside, and this data is particularly the resume that we upload and also the job postings that we have, the database of the job postings. Next in line would be the database architecture. We used an RDS instance with Postgre as an engine. and we have this RDS instance. And in the diagram, if you see, it's residing over here. So our Lambda functions interact with RDS and do different kind of processing and send out the data. To give a high level overview of what's happening in the backend, we initially have scraped some data from LinkedIn, and we are using we put that data in S3 in CSV format, and then we trigger a Lambda function which is residing inside a subnet, a private subnet. Uh, it uses an endpoint, S3 endpoint, to interact with the data inside S3. And what it does is it parses the data and puts it in a more structured way into the RDS. And then the second part of it is uh, just as you saw in the front end, we uploaded a resume, the user uploaded a resume. So that will reside in S3. And then a Lambda function is triggered, which is outside the VPC. So the reason for it being outside VPC, because it wants to interact with the text track service. And so the once this once the data is in the resume is in S3, this Lambda function gets triggered, and it uses TextRack service to parse the PDF file and sends an message to SQS. And then once the message is in SQS, it in turn triggers another Lambda function, which is inside the VPC and a private subnet. So what this Lambda function does is like it tries to match the jobs that we already have in our RDS that were scraped with LinkedIn, and it'll try to match it with the skills that were parsed from the resume and like store it in a brand new table. To give a high level overview of the tables, they look something like this. So we have used like 5 to 6 tables and different architecture level, database architecture level to like extract the data and like have it in the final result would be pulled from this resume match results. And uh, so yeah, that was the backend part of it, and also explain the services that we are using. um, that would be like Lambda, RDS, S3, SQS, and TextRack mainly. So now once the data is in, final result is in RDS, the front end pulls it and you see the result on the website. And coming to the front end part, our code was developed by our teammate on VS Code, and then we use Docker to push this code to ECR, that is container service, Elastic Container Service, if you see. So our code is residing in this container. So if you see, this is our latest code that we have. And once we have our code in our container service, we need a cluster to run the code. So we made this cluster on ECS. And so once the cluster is made, we can run our code. And we need something called task to run the code. And we have to create a task. And this is the latest task that I'm using. And using this task, our code runs. And if you see it diagrammatically, the code, the image is residing here, and then we define a task and run an container service. So the container service spins up to EC2 instances using auto scaling groups, that is one or two depending upon the traffic that it's having. We also use the application load balancer, that's again to uh, you know keep a constant flow of traffic. And also like we're using the CloudFront Edge to have the Uh, so I'm using the CloudFront endpoint as my uh, path to view the website. If I had taken a purchased a domain, I would have used S3, registered the domain, and I could have used a custom domain. So yeah, that was pretty much like how the architecture of our project was. And to wrap it up, I think I have explained all the services, and yeah, it was a pretty good project. And having used all the services, I've learned like many things about it. So thank you.